Welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at an article on the BBC website. The article is titled Bath Spa University Blocks Transgender Research. A therapist says he is astonished by a university's decision to stop him studying people who decide to reverse gender reassignment operations. Now I wonder what reason the university could give for such a decision. James Caspian wanted to write a thesis on detransition as part of his master's degree in counselling and psychotherapy at Bath Spa University. When I first saw this, thank you Andrew for showing this to me, part of me was terrified that it was my old university, UEA, that may have done this. Thankfully they haven't gone so far as to block research. He said it was rejected by the university's ethics committee because it could be politically incorrect. When conducting research, whether it be in a hard science or other, what on earth is the ethics committee thinking when it decides to block research, which I think could actually have uses in this instance, on the grounds of it being politically incorrect? What is politically incorrect about trying to understand those that make the decision to go back? There is nothing politically incorrect about it. People do it. Thankfully, those that do it, and it is always a good idea to understand it, so information can be gathered, so that we can learn, so that we can make sure those that decide to go down a path fully understand what they are committing to. The university said it couldn't comment until after an internal investigation, which will never happen. It won't. It's not now because any pressure that could potentially be applied suddenly decide, the feels of these people don't influence us in any way whatsoever, so we're going to let you conduct this research. No, they're going to take what the feels of those people over there think, and they're going to stand by to protect the feels. Mr. Caspian, a counsellor who specialises in therapy for transgender people, told Radio 4 I was astonished at that decision. I think that a university exists to encourage discussion, research, dissent even, challenging perhaps ideas that are out of date or not particularly useful. Sorry, Steve Shives, as this man stands on the side of free speech. He needs deplatforming. He said he wanted to study people who had swapped gender and then changed their minds after coming across evidence of a growing number of people who regretted having the surgery and finding no research had been done into the subject, which, if anything, is a fantastic reason to get involved in it. Certain research fields are saturated. When there is one with a gaping hole in it, pounce on it. Be the pioneer, be the person that leads. And that's what this man is trying to do. He is not looking to get people who have transitioned and then point and laugh. That's not what he's doing. He wants to conduct research. The university, formerly known as Bath College of Higher Education before gaining full university status in 2005, a year before I went to uni, initially accepted his proposal, but he struggled to find people willing to take part. That does not surprise me, because I think people who have made the decision to transition and then go back, I think there's a lot more to it, and it would take someone very strong to step forward. They said they felt too traumatized to talk about it, which made me think we really need to do the research even more, which I totally agree with. He amended his proposal to include people who had transitioned to men and reverted to living as women but without reversing their surgery, and resubmitted it, but it was rejected by the ethics committee. I don't actually understand why, but I'm sure when the university conducts its, quote, investigation and then makes a formal statement that we'll never see, or probably will on the 12th of never, we'll understand. The fundamental reason given was that it might cause criticism of the research on social media, and criticism of the research would be criticism of the university, and they also added it was better not to offend people. Oh, see? The feels are outweighing academic progress. Genuine progression is being stymied by the feels. American transgender activist Ricky Wilchins said studies on transgender people could have a political undercurrent and potentially have a negative effect on the way they are treated. People have been launching studies that undercut transgender people's access to surgery for decades now, but Mr. Caspian said older studies were out of date and the research was necessary to help people, which I agree with. He added the whole field has completely changed over the last few years. the idea that we might use the information from the research I was going to do in a way that wouldn't help people is completely wrong. Now, while he is considering a legal challenge, I think he should consider taking it elsewhere, taking it to another institute, one that is more about academic success. Can't believe Bath of all places. You should have your university status removed. When I thought my university had done it, my university is renowned for research. It's done a lot over the years. And if it had, it would have shocked. Then again, they don't have the biggest psychology department. I guess it's not surprising, and I'm talking too much about myself. As far as this subject goes, for me, it comes down to what does the research do? And the end game here, with the lack of research in this particular area, is it helps us understand. That does not mean more people who are transgender that decide to go back are being judged. It means we understand the reasons for it. We don't understand this because the research isn't being conducted. And that doesn't mean judging people, it means understanding, so that more people can be supported. Bath, I hope you as a university conduct your investigation quickly, and I hope you come to a conclusion that enables Mr. Caspian to conduct his research. If you don't, and you decide to uphold the rejection, then I suggest Mr. Caspian takes it to an institute that values academic progress over the feelings of others. Thank you all for listening.